All vascular plants as well as some primitive plants contain small openings called stomata. The stomata allows diffusion of water and gases between plants and the atmosphere. These cells are able to integrate environmental and endogenous signals and convert them into the appropriate turgor pressure changes. The guard cells in the stomata shrink or swell, which results in opening or closing of the stomatal pore. Such stomatal movements facilitate the regulation of water loss through transpiration and the optimization of photosynthesis in response to changing environments. Many theories have been proposed regarding opening and closing of stomata, but the four most important ones are the theory of photosynthesis in guard cells, starch-sugar interconversion theory, theory of glycolate metabolism, and active potassium transport or potassium pump theory and role of abscisic acid. Theory of photosynthesis in guard cells. Von Mohl in 1856 observed that stomata open in light and close in the night. He then proposed that chloroplasts present in the guard cells photosynthesize in the presence of light, resulting in the production of carbohydrate, due to which osmotic pressure of guard cells increases. This explanation is based on the following sequence. Light initiates photosynthesis process in guard cells, as a result of which sugar is formed. Formation of sugar increases the osmotic pressure of the cell sap, and endoosmosis takes place from subsidiary cells to the guard cell. This increases turgor pressure in guard cells, which leads to opening of the stomata. Demerits of this theory is that increasing the carbon dioxide concentration around the leaves should lead to wide opening of stomata, but here their partial closure occurs. Another demerit is that chloroplasts of guard cells are poorly developed and incapable of performing active photosynthesis. Starch-sugar interconversion theory. According to Lloyd in 1908, turgidity of guard cells depends on interconversion of starch and sugar. This was based on the observation that guard cells contain sugar during daytime when they are open and starch during night when they are closed. Sayre in 1926 observed that stomata open in neutral or alkaline pH, which prevails during daytime due to constant removal of carbon dioxide by photosynthesis. Stomata remain closed during night when there is no photosynthesis, and due to accumulation of carbon dioxide, carbonic acid is formed that causes the pH to be acidic. Thus, he suggested that stomatal movement is regulated by pH due to interconversion of starch and sugar. Based on Sayre's theory, process of opening and closing of stomata may be summarized as: in light, photosynthesis takes place, leading to decreased carbon dioxide concentration in the leaf, which increases the pH of the guard cells. Conversion of starch to sugar takes place, which increases osmotic pressure of guard cells. Because of this, endoosmosis occurs and water flows in the guard cells. This increases turgor pressure of guard cells and the stomatal aperture opens. In dark, almost reversal of these processes take place. There is no photosynthesis in dark, so carbon dioxide concentration increases. This decreases the pH of the guard cells and conversion of sugar to starch takes place. This leads to a decrease in cell sap concentration and exosmosis of water, which results in closing of stomata. Stewart in 1964 proposed another modified scheme of interconversion of starch and sugar for stomatal movement. He believed that conversion of starch to glucose 1-phosphate is not sufficient. It should be converted to glucose in order to increase sufficient osmotic pressure. For this, ATP is also required, which means that the process should be through respiration in presence of oxygen. Guard cell carries enzymes like phosphorylase, phosphoglucomutase and phosphatase, etc. These enzymes help in opening and closing of the stomata. Demerits of starch-sugar interconversion theory are: many scientists do not agree with the theory of starch-sugar interconversion due to the following reasons. First, in the presence of light, when starch disappears from guard cells, malic acid appears and not the sugars. Second, starch has not been reported in the guard cells of many monocots such as iris, amylase, allium, etc. And third, according to this theory, osmotic pressure of guard cells increases due to the formation of glucose 1-phosphate in guard cells, but it is found that the presence of phosphate ions causes the development of same osmotic pressure as does the presence of glucose phosphate. And lastly, enzyme phosphorylase helps in conversion of starch to glucose 1-phosphate, but not in the formation of starch from glucose 1-phosphate. This reaction is controlled by some other enzyme about which we do not know as yet. The theory could not explain the extra effectiveness of blue light at the time of stomatal opening. Theory of glycolate metabolism. Zellich in 1963 proposed that production of glycolic acid in the guard cells is an important factor in stomatal opening. Glycolate is produced under low concentration of carbon dioxide. He suggested that glycolate gives rise to carbohydrate, thus raising the osmotic pressure, and also that it could participate in the production of ATP, which might provide energy required for the opening of stomata. Demerits of this theory are that it fails to explain the opening of stomata in dark, for example, in succulent plants. Also, in some plants, stomata have been found to remain closed even during daytime. This theory also fails to explain the effect of blue light on stomatal opening. Active potassium transport or active potassium pump theory. The concept of potassium ion transport was given by Fugino in 1967. It was supported and elaborated by Levitt and Reschke in 1975. It appears to be an active mechanism which needs ATP. It is based on recent observations and explains the mechanisms as follows. Opening of stomata during daytime, that is in the presence of light. According to this theory, opening of stomata depends upon the following conditions: presence of light, decrease in starch content of guard cells, increased concentration of malic acid in guard cells, influx of potassium ions in guard cells, efflux of hydrogen ions from guard cells, intake of chloride ions by guard cells, low carbon dioxide concentration in and around guard cells, high pH, that is more than 7 in guard cells, and hence alkaline medium of the cell sap in guard cells, high turgor pressure in guard cells due to endoosmosis that leads to turgidity of cells. Turgor pressure is more towards thin wall of guard cell and stomata open. Explanation of Levitt concept. This is explained as follows. In the guard cells, starch is converted into malic acid in the presence of light, that is during daytime. Protons, that is H plus ions, thus formed are used by the guard cells for the uptake of potassium ions, that is in exchange for the protons. This is an active ionic exchange and requires ATP and cytokinin, a plant hormone. In this way, the concentration of potassium ions increases in guard cells. At the same time, the concentration of hydrogen ions decreases in guard cells. The pH of the cell sap in guard cells also increases simultaneously, and pH becomes more than 7 and the medium becomes alkaline. There is also an increased uptake of chloride ions by the guard cells to maintain the electrical and ionic balance inside and outside the guard cells. The malate anions formed in the guard cells are neutralized by the potassium ions. This results in the formation of potassium malate. Potassium malate enters the cell sap of the guard cell, thereby reducing the water potential while increasing the osmotic concentration and thus the osmotic potential of the cell sap. Hence, endosmosis occurs, guard cells become turgid and kidney shaped and the stomata open. It is also observed that the carbon dioxide concentration is low in and around guard cells during daytime. This is due to high photosynthetic utilization of carbon dioxide. It helps in opening of the stomata. Closing of stomata in the absence of light, that is in dark time or in night. Closing of stomata depends on the following conditions: absence of light, decreased concentration of malic acid in guard cells, efflux of potassium ions from guard cells, influx of hydrogen ions in guard cells, acidic medium of cell sap in the guard cells, loss of chloride ions from guard cells, increased carbon dioxide concentration in and around guard cells due to release of carbon dioxide in respiration combined with the absence of photosynthetic activity in dark, presence of plant growth inhibiting hormone abscisic acid, that is ABA, and loss of turgidity and loss of kidney shape by guard cells. All these conditions represent the reversal of the daytime events. Under these conditions, the guard cells lose water by exosmosis and become flaccid. This causes closing of the stomata. Role of plant hormones in stomatal movements. Presence of cytokinins, one of the plant growth regulators, is needed for the active uptake of potassium ions. Presence of abscisic acid, a plant inhibiting hormone ABA, favors closing of stomata by blocking uptake of potassium by guard cells in the dark. It also prevents efflux of hydrogen ions from guard cells. ABA and carbon dioxide come together to help in lowering the pH in guard cells and making the medium acidic. This helps in closing of stomata. ABA acts as stress hormone during drought conditions. Factors affecting stomatal opening and closing. A number of environmental factors lead to stomatal closure that protects plants from water loss and therefore minimizes negative effects of these often unfavorable conditions. Drought, carbon dioxide, decreased relative humidity and elevated atmospheric ozone all lead to stomatal closure. Drought conditions induce production of phytohormone ABA, which in turn triggers the stomatal response. High atmospheric carbon dioxide leads to reduced stomatal apertures, which enables plants to receive enough carbon dioxide for photosynthesis while minimizing the water loss. Decreased relative humidity slows down the rate of transpiration, which in turn serves as a signal for the stomata to close. The factors leading to stomatal movements can trigger a fast physiological response taking place within minutes, involving activation and inhibition of ion channels, and a more long term response generating changes on the transcriptional level. Several abiotic factors leading to stomatal closure activate pathways that merge at the level of ABA signal transduction in guard cells. Many of the ABA signaling components downstream of the ABA receptor have been revealed. Several of them are also involved in other guard cell signaling pathways leading to stomatal closure. Stomatal opening induced by light. Stomatal opening through different signaling pathways. The red light, that is from 620 to 750 nanometers, stomatal response is photosynthesis dependent and saturates at higher intensities similar to photosynthetically active radiation, that is PAR. The blue light from 450 to 495 nanometers, in this the stomatal response is fast, photosynthesis independent and saturates at lower fluencies, that is round about 50 micromole per meter square per second, and is more efficient than that of red light. Interestingly, a red light background is necessary to enhance the effect of blue light on stomatal opening processes. A weak blue light illumination under a strong red light background induces rapid stomatal opening in Arabidopsis, whereas no opening is triggered in the absence of red light. Blue light modulates guard cell osmoregulation via its activation of proton pumping and via the stimulation of the synthesis of organic solutes. The blue light receptors FOT1 and FOT2 belong to a family of light activated receptor kinases associated with the plasma membrane. Phototropins contain two photosensory light, oxygen or voltage, that is LOV domains at the N terminus and a serine threonine domain at the C terminus. Blue light brings about photoexcitation of the LOV domains that leads to autophosphorylation of the phototropin protein. The autophosphorylation induces the binding of proteins that maintain PHOTs in the active state. Cryptochrome 1 and 2, designated as Cry1 and Cry2, have been shown to act additively with phototropins to regulate guard cells opening under blue light. Conclusions. Stomatal movements need to be optimally regulated to balance the water use efficiency of plants, a trait crucial for biomass accumulation and stress adaptation. Finally, a better understanding of the molecular aspects of stomatal regulation by environmental factors may help to formulate effective tools for tailoring plants with C3 metabolism into CAM plants.